How you doing, Duff here? Cindy and I are at North Carolina Regional Park. This is actually where I was last week when I brought the Mten out for its inaugural extended testing session, where I was like really kind of like at first tentative and almost regretful of the purchase when I rode it for the first 5 minutes, and then by the end of the ride I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then during this week I've done some more riding. I posted a video where I'm like trying all kinds of maneuvers that I would never do in any other wheel, you know, like backwards 180s and changing direction, 4-point turns, all kinds of stuff like that. So it's really a fun wheel. And really. And Cindy's gonna try to hop on it today just to see how it feels for a little bit, but we have the Segway Mini Pro here for her as well. And I do have my M Super along as well if I just want to mix things up a little bit. So we're gonna get started. I still haven't come up with a great way to mount on the M10. I still have to kind of hop up on it, and a few times I've actually had an issue where I'm pulling up my foot off the ground and I actually catch the pedal and flip the pedal up, and I've had like some standing still wipeouts due to that, so that's still a work in progress.
Where are we going? I'm following you.
Cindy's following me. This episode is sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts. I wish.
Are we filming?
Right now, yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody out there in the EUC world, please tell me how to hack this thing and make it go faster while my foot is healing. I can't ride my wheels much, so I'm stuck on this slow poke. Help me make it go fast.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that a week or two ago, asking for ways to make the Mini Pro faster, and I did a search on how to do it, and I saw this video where the guy said, oh, I made my Mini Pro go 17 miles an hour. I'm like, oh wow, that's awesome. So I watched his video, and I don't know if this guy's just really stupid or if he was just pranking everybody, but basically what he was doing was, in the app he was switching it from miles to kilometers.
I knew you were gonna.
And 11 miles an hour is 17.5 kilometers an hour. So the guy had this long video announcing how he made his Mini Pro go faster, and actually it was just him not knowing the difference between kilometers and miles per hour, evidently. The video had like probably 200 dislikes, because everybody felt like they were being trolled. So, and actually the only thing that I found about making it go faster legitimately is some people actually messed around with hacking it where they run the wheel in reverse. They switch some sensors around so it's running in reverse, which evidently does not have the same speed governor, but it makes the wheel extremely twitchy and dangerous to ride. So that project was abandoned. So
This is shaky backwards regardless.
yeah, so as far as I know, there is still no way to make a Mini Pro go faster. That's the bottom line.
Let's just make a faster Mini Pro. Somebody out there.
It has to do with USA regulations.
Ah.
First time riding the Mini Pro backwards while filming and drinking coffee. I mean the M10, not the Mini Pro. Okay, I'll just reverse and do a tight 180, just like that.
Right there. Oh my gosh, I wonder if Oolong Rider, like, he doesn't need it because he can do those.
So I mentioned in my video last week on the M10 about Marty blowing up his M10 and how the ultimate problem was a link in his battery pack had actually burned through, which I found to be very disheartening. But then since then I was told by someone else that there's been multiple cases of M10 battery packs burning that link. So it seems like we once again have some shoddy engineering on Gotway's part. It's going to be interesting to see what the ultimate resolution to that is. I'm praying that mine is not going to be on that list of defective ones. So even though the M10 is not really like a cruising wheel per se, it does fine in that roll. You know, it's quite comfortable just Just traveling down the paths here, no problem whatsoever. And I do still try to plan to see if I can do the Dunkin' Donuts ride on it. And I think the biggest challenge there will be foot pain, more than likely. Alright, we're now on the boardwalk. Cindy likes the vibrating feelings that she gets on the boardwalk for some reason. Doesn't do much for me.
I've never been like this. Oh, my nose is just...
Okay, Cindy is just stepping on the M10 for the first time.
How do you get on it? It's like...
Same way you do with another wheel. Brace your leg and...
Why is it? It's very low?
It's very... I told you it's very low. It's
But
very...
I mean, the feet are lower than the others,
because the
right?
tire's smaller.
Right, that's it, so it automatically seems to go to the side. But it's weird, it almost seems like... Wow.
How you doing, Duff here? Sorry for the abrupt scenery change. I started to shoot a video last week and never got around to finishing it. So I just thought I would combine it with what I'm doing now. And if you can't tell, I'm at the school, the middle/elementary school where I did the majority of my learning to ride an electric unicycle. And I have my M10 here. And actually, I'm really surprised that I haven't gotten out here yet to ride the M10, because this is like a perfect spot, you know, to just mess around and try different things. And it's a great spot to ride. So that's what I'm going to do. This is actually my second time coming to the school today. I was here at about 6 o'clock this morning getting my run in. Did about a little more than a 5K. It's been nice to run now, unlike the summers, 6-month-long summers down here in Florida. Right now we're finally getting some lows in the 60s at night, so it was probably 65 or so when I ran, so that feels really good compared to 75 and 90% humidity. So we're getting into the prime running weather in Southwest Florida. It's funny, I saw someone posted on, I can't remember if it was on the EU Guys forum on Facebook or the Gotway page, but he was complaining about he just got an M10 and he felt like he absolutely could not ride it because of the wobbles. And I guess there's an outside chance that there is something defective with the wheel, but I doubt it. And I chimed in and told him, you know, when I first got on the wheel, I felt really unstable. This guy evidently, you know, he has lots of riding experience, more than me. But I told him, you know, once I got through it was probably 15 to 20 minutes until it clicked in my head. Once I got through it, you know, you just adjust. And because I felt really unstable when I first started. You know, I felt like I couldn't do anything. I felt like I couldn't turn, couldn't mount, couldn't do anything. But then all of a sudden I just kind of, I don't know, just kind of stopped thinking about it so much and just realized that, you know, for whatever reason, the physics of this wheel, it just makes it easy to do things, you know. It just makes it really easy. Of course, I kind of just stepped off there, but it's probably because I was filming while doing it. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. Get an M10 and hope your battery doesn't smoke. I already had one idea I wanted to try to do was to ride this big outer loop here backwards. Something that I don't remember if I've ever accomplished it when I was doing my backwards practice. And if I did, I know it was super hairy and I felt really out of control. So since I feel like I'm able to ride the M10 backwards pretty darn confidently, I want to see how it feels doing it on this. Alright, I'm over halfway. And it's weird, like I feel like I can ride looking back like this more easily for some reason on the M10 than I can on any of my other wheels. I'm not quite sure why that is, but at least it gives me a better idea where I'm going. Alright, coming into the home stretch here. Neck's feeling a little sore from looking back this whole way. Whoa. That's funny. That's a totally mental thing. Getting towards the end, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so close to the end. I don't want to lose it, and then you start to feel off balance. It's funny. Even now, I still get head games once in a while. Fun. Okay, just thought of one other backwards challenge that I never accomplished actually on my other wheels, and that was, you might remember, that was my infamous wipeout on the M Super by the bike corral there. Probably can't see it on the GoPro, but what I tried to do was when I was learning to ride backwards, and I still was pretty darn shaky, I got the bright idea to try to go backwards around the bike corral on the M Super. Lost my balance. The M Super hit the ground, launched, spun like crazy, and it spun so hard that the trolley handle extended and then proceeded to break and snap. So, and that was the end of my backwards practice for that day, obviously. So anyways, I was curious if I could do it now. Let's see what happens. Oh, that crash actually is what precipitated me eventually getting the new case for the M Super as well, because the case was all destroyed as well. So, all right, so let's see if I can do this. You can too. And I still have the idea in my head that I want to try to take this on a ride, like to my Dunkin' Donuts, my 10-mile Dunkin' Donuts ride. Pretty sure I can do it. I don't know that the 512 watt-hour battery could get me there and back. Probably not. But it would be fun to try, because this thing, once you get the wobbles out, it is I'm fine going 15 to 18 miles an hour on it without feeling too unstable. The biggest issue is foot pain, because the pedals are so small for my feet. But anyways, I still think it's worth a shot, don't you? Like right here, I'm pretty sure I'm easily doing over 15, and I feel fine. The wheel's not going crazy. I can keep it relatively controlled. The other thing I don't think I've tried is a 3-point turn, like in the span of a normal sidewalk. Not sure. Let's see if we can do this. It's so easy to do 180. But let's try this again. Yeah, it's not too bad. Really, I mean, if you're an accomplished EUC rider, you really owe it to yourself to try to get your hands on an M10. You know, when Marty got his and was singing the praises of it, you know, I was skeptical. You know, it looked fun, but I mean, could it really be that much fun and that much easier to do things on? You know, I was skeptical, and especially I was even more skeptical when I first got it and had such trouble on it. But now that I've gotten through the uncomfortable period, it's that much fun. You know, and you know, the model I have is somewhere around between $900 and $1,000. And if you gave me a choice to have a M Super 1600 watt hour for, I don't know, what do they cost now, $1,500 bucks, whatever, and this, having ridden both, I'd take this. Not kidding. You know, people like this kind of used to annoy me. Just back out and be unaware of their surroundings, but now just back up or spin around in circles. Good Lord, really? Yeah, I'm totally fine cruising at this speed. Doesn't feel unsafe anymore. The M10, as maneuverable as it is, just like a normal sized parking space like this, is all the room you need to just kind of go crazy. You know, it's nuts. It really is. Whoa, it's nuts. It's nuts. And see, the cool thing is even when you lose balance like I did there, just because it's so small and light, that it's just real easy to correct. You can, in a split second, you're back. You're back from off balance. And I think that gives you confidence to do things like I just did there, like a rather tight backwards 360. Because even though I lost my balance for a second, I was able to recover without a big deal. One last challenge, the quarter mile backwards challenge, which again I've done before on I think on the M Super, but it was super hairy, super nerve-wracking, super on the edge of falling the whole time. So I'm going to try it on the M10 and compare. Let's see how this goes. See if it's any easier. I would think that it is. Check back in a bit. I remember when I did this in my M Super, like I wasn't able to really look back, so I was just kind of judging the curve the whole time, and turning in general I was having a hard time with, so it was really difficult. I'm about halfway. Alright, coming on to the final straightaway. I'll tell you that even though I can ride the M10 backwards much better, doing it for long periods of time like this, you know, like I've done a number of long continuous backwards runs here, it's tough on the legs. Like I can feel some tightness in my right quad. It's making it more difficult than normal to do this, so yeah, just FYI. Alright, officially did it. So that's enough milestones checked off for one day. Yeah, my right quad feels really tight. Maybe it's also a side effect from running this morning, but I think that's enough long backwards runs for today. Can't look over my left shoulder as well as my right for whatever reason. Like that safe. Alright, like I said, my legs are tight. Feels like it's affecting my control somewhat, so. And I'm hoping that we get a little bit of a ride in tomorrow morning. We'll see how things work out, because we're going to be heading to the East Coast for a little bit on tomorrow afternoon. So see how time works out. And if you haven't seen any of my Mten videos, if you're new to the channel perhaps, I'm going to link those other ones at the end of the video. You should check them out. If you're up in the air about if you should buy an Mten or not, I would say yes. Definitely not a good first wheel for someone to learn on, but if you're an accomplished rider and you want a challenge and you want a totally different experience than what you're accustomed to, I would recommend an Mten. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please take a second to hit that like button. If you want to be notified whenever I produce a video, hit that little bell. That'll send you an email. And if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Really appreciate it. That's it for now. Until next time, Duffman out.